Sentire Media.
Hello there. Thank you so much. You downloaded it. You did it. Podcast from Italy. I'm Jason. Good morning, Ashley.
Ciao, ciao, Jason.
We're a couple of days here into autumn, end of September. A rainy, drizzly morning.
Perfect for a podcast.
There's nothing to do today but clean a kitchen and clean rooms. So let's not do any of that.
I said, let's do a podcast this morning instead.
And I was like, that is, yes.
First you said, I'm going to get the beans going.
Yeah, first I said I'm going to get lunch going. It's borlotti season. It's time to eat borlottis. Borlotti is also called a speckled bean or a cranberry bean, maybe in your parts. Here they're called borlotti, and autumn, they are everywhere.
They're good.
So let me set this up real quick. Piobico, we live there. The Tavola Marche, the Agriturismo. What else do I say?
We're out here in the middle of nowhere.
Out here in the middle of nowhere. There you go. The weather has definitely turned to autumn. We had one last gasp of summer weather last weekend.
We were able to have dinner outside every night with the guests last week. It was wonderful.
The sun definitely didn't have the same intensity it does. So even though the temperatures were in the low, like it hit 30, it would just hit 30 in the afternoon, but it didn't have that 9 o'clock in the morning. It's 30 kind of thing. So it was nice, and then all that broke with the change in pressure, and I think we're done with. I'm sure there'll be one or two nice, beautiful, sunny, warm days, but
it looks like it's going to be mid-20s now, and slowly
rain is here, so we need the rain. It's been very, very dry. Mm-hmm. All the mushroom hunters have come around and left in disgust and empty baskets because there hasn't been a whole lot of water and the ground's too hard.
Right now, end of September should be traffico intenso along our road, and it is not. It's crickets.
It is crickets.
Literally.
Also, hunting season, the beginning of hunting season opened, and it seems to be a bust. I've not heard a single shot in our
Not
valley.
a single shot. The only mushroom hunter we see is old Elio, who's just addicted to the walks more than anything, and stopping chats with the dogs. But it's been quiet out here.
But just because it's been quiet with the hunting and the mushrooms doesn't mean it's been quiet at La Tavola Marche. There's been a lot going
on. First and foremost, we have been doing this for almost 20 years, just shy. Every year this gets brought up by the guests. Every year it is a huge surprise. For any of you that plan to stay here at La Tavola Marche one day, or in central Italy or southern Italy at all, drum roll, there are scorpions here.
Especially in the spring. In the spring and the autumn they come out. And they're not big. This isn't like Mexican scorpions. These are tiny. They look they're like the size of a spider kind of thing.
Yes. And in all the years we've been here, I've been stung. Oh, I forgot to add that to the story. I've been stung many a time, but never by bees, wasps, whatever, spiders, but never a scorpion sting.
No, they're pretty docile. They seem to like this.
Like they look scary.
They seem no, they don't.
To people who aren't used to it. I remember when the first time I saw it, it was like scorpion. But people have bizarre reactions. Either they don't want to kill it. My aunt and uncle, for some reason, put a piece of paper under it and a cup and brought it down to the kitchen table with a note to save it and show us. You could just kill them. It's not a big deal, or let them be, or toss them out the window if you feel like you're being a hero, but they're not a big deal. So that's just, I wanted to put that out there. If you've been here lately, this has nothing to do with anything you said. It's just a culmination of throughout the years.
Instead of announcing it over the podcast, why don't you just announce it to the guests when they show up each time?
I like this better. Just a one and done.
All right. That's a good plan.
So, like Jason said, we have been busy. I was asked to translate a wedding, and
it's crazy.
I know. So it was going to be it was a wedding at the castle, so a civil union, not a one in the church, and it's still part of the Italian law that a mother tongue speaking person needs to translate, or a professional translator. And sure enough, the Piobice found me and said, "Could you do this?" So I was happy to oblige, and I must say, I got to the castle ready to go. The a woman who was the representative from the commune was there, and 2 guys from the castle. No bride, no groom. Then finally the groom arrives. It's not like until 45 minutes later. We're all thinking they're taking bets. They're like, they left an ape running down below and she's going to get out of here. They're having these, and then they're all saying how they met the couple the other day and they're just not quite sure. Their numbers didn't really match. And what is she doing marrying this guy? And finally she shows up so late. The guy at the castle's pissed because he's like, they only booked this for a short amount of time. I got to close up, and everyone's got other things to do, but this is so classically Italian. They're also very concerned. Why is she choosing to get married? They live in Australia. He's Australian, but she's from Urbania, the next town over. And none of the Piobacese could understand why she chose Piobico to get married in if she's from Urbania, and figured it must be scandaloso. Correct me if I thought, well, it's the castle. It's pretty. Maybe that's why. But then they didn't even get married in a pretty room.
I have to agree with him.
That was the kind of weird part. But so that was fun.
It is weird. Get married in your own town. That's what you're supposed to do.
True. Unfortunately, since they were so late and it took forever, as soon as the I-dos were done, we were just, all of us were like running out of there. It was like, take your pictures. We're gone. See you later. Well, then you went and we did find a stufa, and they sent you.
Did we not talk about this?
We were talking about you looking for the stufa.
Okay.
Now you found one.
Stufa, we need a new insert in our fireplace for the winter.
And you found a Gisa.
I found one from a little...
All cast iron.
So I went to see the guy, check it out, kick the tires, no problem. Okay, I'll take it, but I need it delivered either at a certain date, like next week, or at the end of November, because this is a little bit of a... Like, we got to clear out the kitchen, we got to remove the old one, we've got to put the new one in, they've got to...
Organize it in between guests.
Yeah, we got to organize... You can't really do this when we're trying to do a cooking class. So we got to figure out, we either had a hole in our schedule, it was a couple weeks ago, whatever, or at the end of the season in November. So... I guess he never said. We left it at that, and the window that I had available the last week closed. So I guess that wasn't happening.
You skipped the whole preventivo.
The guy sends me the estimate or the invoice, whatever.
He says he's going to.
This took. Then it was like, all right, great. And a couple days go by. You know, I'm not gonna.
You saw him on like a Thursday or Friday, and on Monday, Tuesday, you're like, can I email him or text him about this?
And it's like, all right, well, I'll wait till midweek. So Wednesday, I send him a message. Hey, just wanted him to see if you're gonna get that preventivo, that invoice, so we can
quote,
so we could get this squared away. Yeah. I have it done. I'll send it by the end of business. I'm just busy right now. Yeah, no problem. Okay, nothing happened that day. Nothing happened Thursday. Friday, I text him again. Hey, want to get that quote?
Again?
Can you please? Yeah, it's done. I'm going to send it right now. Well, this was 9:00 in the morning. By 4:00 in the afternoon, it finally came through. It was hysterical. It was a spiral page out of a spiral notebook with so much writing all over the place and highlights and
numbers crossed out, arrows pointing to other numbers. Dude, why didn't you just rewrite it with the real numbers? Italians love to
at the top. It all starts off like this. Original price, whatever, 2,500 euros, slashed out. Then he writes, you don't pay that. Then underneath that, he puts 2,000, slash that out. You don't pay that. All this is highlighted in different. Then it finally gets to you pay only 1,586, and then he goes like it's all this way with all these things in the margins to say like different. It's like I couldn't understand a single. I'm looking at this thing. I showed it to our adopted Papa God. She just starts laughing at it.
We couldn't figure out what the final price was at all. It was like, is this all included? Is this not? There's other things down below, and he's like, you don't need this, but I thought we talked about getting it or whatever.
It was so convoluted that I had to jump in the car the next day and go down there and be like,
wait, not go down there. Drive 45 minutes over
away.
The Apennines.
45 minutes away and be like, what the hell is it? Like, what is going on? He's like, yeah, look here. And he like takes me through the whole thing. And it's like the sales pitch, but on a piece of paper.
Totally.
And it's like, we already talked about all this stuff. I just put the price. Anyway, a few weeks now has gone by, and I haven't heard one word from this guy. So I sent him a he didn't want like a kapara. He didn't want me to put something down, so, to lock it in. And this isn't a...
Oh, but they do have to build something.
They do have to build a little, whatever. He didn't want any money, which was weird. It's like, I don't know. I'd rather say this is sold, so they put the little sold sign on it. So when I come back in a month, he's like, oh, we sold that one. Anyway.
This place was packed.
Yeah, this is the place to go. Anyway, nothing from him. So I sent him a message the other day. Hey, just want to make sure that we're still on for the end of November the beginning of November, and everything's good. And do you need me to send you a kapara? And there's something about, for health reasons...
If all goes well
with health for health reasons, then yes, we should be there. And it's like,
we should be at the agreed upon date or something. It was so convoluted.
It's an old way of saying.
Yeah, and to me it was like, we'll see.
Almost like if we're all still alive at that time.
I know. I was like, was there a cancer prognosis? What just happened? We're all still living.
But let me tell you, that's the fun things about living here. Because if you just went down there and bought it, and they told you, yeah, we'll be here on 3 November, don't worry about it. Yeah, okay, here's a down, half of it, and nothing happened. That would be boring.
There'd be no podcast.
There'd be no podcast. But instead, you get to make. I have to go down there again. I got to go down there before the
beginning of November.
Yeah. Sometime early next month, I'll go and just say,
just a little pop in.
We'll pop in. Here's $500, and this is to keep you honest, to make sure you're going to show up.
Oh my God! After that was the Polenta Festival in Piobico, and that morning, so the main festivities, I took the guests the Saturday night before for some music to join the Ugly Club, which they had a blast. Hilariously, there was orchestra doing a lot of music from Queen, and we had a really good time listening to that. And then Sunday morning was when the real festivities for the Polenta Fest kicked off. And Jason smartly went ahead because he was going to get a bunch of polenta to bring home, or to Gaji and Rosanna's. We were going to take it for
originally, I
lunch.
wanted to go to lunch and sit there because it was a beautiful day. But Gaji and Rosanna don't like the crowds, and she doesn't walk very well, so they told me to bring it home. I went to go get the polenta, and there's no signs for you can get it. You can get a plate of polenta, or you can get a big casserole dish. So they had a bunch of casserole dishes. I could see the 3 stacks, and I thought,
and it used to be people brought their own casserole.
So I brought my casserole dish, and the lady's like, "No, you don't have to do that anymore," because Italy's super green. So now instead of bringing your own casserole dish, now we have a bunch of tin ones. Anyway, it's just, the lady in front of me, I thought I would order 6 portions for 4 people because Rosanna doesn't like to see. She likes to see a nice amount around there. Mm-hmm. Plus, it's like someone will eat it. It's good. So the lady in front of me, I thought she ordered 6 as well, and they pulled out the medium casserole dish. And I thought, oh, perfect. I'll take that as well. So I said 6 portions. Now, when you pay at one spot, and then you go to you get a little ticket, and you go to where they're making it, and you give the ticket to the lady, and she starts getting it together. I didn't realize that giant casserole dish was for 4 people. So for 6 people was a small casserole and a medium casserole. The large casserole was for what was supposed to be for 8.
Oh my God.
So when the lady in front of me got hers and I saw she had 2, I go, oh no. Way too much polenta. I came home with it was.
Well, Rosanna and Gaji didn't think it was too much.
No, she goes, yeah, that's good. I go, that's a ton of. She goes, don't worry about it. It's good. Avanzata.
We did end up having it twice with them.
Yeah. We had to come back until all that polenta was gone.
Oh my God. So we had the lunch and then.
Hold on, but you skipped over. It was much better this year.
Oh, true.
when we first got here, they were using tomatoes. This is always in middle end of September. When they do
beginning of September.
Beginning. You're right. It's been a couple of weeks. Beginning of September. So everyone's gardens are producing tons of tomatoes. If you go around there, you can probably gather 100 kilos of tomatoes from just people with gardens, no problem. So they used to do garden fresh tomatoes. The sauce was incredible. Then we got a little cheap. They went to around COVID time, like the COVID years right after, it was straight up bad. I don't know what they were doing. Now this year finally it was a little bit better.
Well, also we're not the polenta connoisseurs that the Piombacese are,
Oh,
and they can
no.
tell by the type if they've rushed the polenta in the pot.
It's not cooked slow enough.
I know.
Listen, you don't understand. This is not our opinion. This is all that is talked about while you're eating the polenta is past polentas that you've eaten, how the polenta was cooked this time, and what you would have done differently. And yeah, so it's just funny. Everyone sits there and talks shit about the polenta.
But it was great. So then we came back, took a nap, and then I met with Rosanna that afternoon to go to the festivities in town for the music and all of that. She, because Gaji and Jason were like, no thanks, you guys go. So she wanted to go and chat with this super sweet 96-year-old woman who was absolutely amazing and just one of those, again, like, holy shit, these people live so long. And like, incredible quality of life. This lady lives between Piobico and Rimini. She totally gets around. I don't know who. Someone drives her, Rosanna said. She's got these apartments. She's sharp as a tack. People were coming. So Rosanna decided to sit, and she's got an apartment right as you enter the old part of town, like what would be on the corner by the river and the bridge. And so all the people kind of entering into like the peak festival zone pass through her little area, and she's got a table and chairs set up out there. So we sat out there and people watched, and it was so cool to watch how these different, especially men, that would come up to her and almost with like reverence and like, hello, greetings from my parents or this and that. And they would want, and at first she, with the light, this is late afternoon, like hitting, she couldn't quite see their face. And then as they got closer, oh shit, it's you. I didn't see you. And giving teases and hugs and kisses and good wishes. And it was also so funny because she said, I don't recognize any of the young people anymore, but if I knew who their grandmas were, if I could just ask who's your grandma, then I'm sure I would know everyone. But it was just so cool to kind of sit and watch and take her in. And then I felt like a little kid because Rosanna didn't want to like go walk around. She loved this like peak spot, ask questions, who's coming by, people watch, talk shit, all of that. So I went and did like loops and laps and had drinks and chatted with other people and whatnot and listened to the music. And then I'd come back and check in like, how you guys doing? This and that. And then she was like, I could just text you when I'm ready to go. And it was like, all right, great. So went and saw some more friends and familiar faces and had a few more drinks. And it was lovely. We got to, and then was that the same night? Then I came back and we had dinner, more polenta.
Yeah, I met you guys.
Yeah,
I met you guys after at Gaji's
right.
house.
And then we had a second round of polenta.
Well, she wouldn't let us eat a meal not at her table until all that polenta was
I know.
done.
It was hilarious. And then she wanted to also serve all this meat too. It was like, oh my God, we're so full. Jason likes to ask random questions. I think sometimes to keep the conversation going, / sometimes just to see Gaji's reactions. I know that's a huge part of it. And at one point you were talking about getting a donkey again.
Well, yeah, I'm doing all the work down in the animal zone, getting it ready for getting some animals probably at the end of the winter. And I was just BSing with Gaji, and I said, what I really want to do is I have pictures of Juan Valdez, how he walk his donkey through the coffee plantation, and I want to walk my donkey with my 2 dogs in the morning. And Gaji's response was so quick and so perfect.
He said, of course. It would be 4 asses walking together. Why not? It was so hilarious. He just says it so matter of fact. Of course. Then you'd have 4 asses walking together. Oh, he cracks me up. I do love it. The back and forth. You guys are so funny.
I screwed up in my. I was putting up a gutter system for my little stall for the animals, and I screwed up real bad. I mounted it so that the water off the roof flew over the gutters onto the ground. So I got to yesterday take that all apart and put it back together correctly. It's working right now.
Good.
Sorry, little side note. Got to make fun of myself.
This is podcast is Gaji and Rosanna heavy the last couple weeks. I also had a girls' morning with Rosanna where we went to pick up, this is hilarious, we went to pick up a bantam rooster, a mini rooster, and which she thought was going to be one or two freshly plucked and killed. Slaughtered, thank you, and cleaned hens for roasting and whatnot. And so we went to drive to their friend's place, which is Mondavio.
Halfway between us and the coast, a little bit south. It's really cool. Mondavio has these really cool old trebuchets out, and you can, climb
It's
all
like
over
a
them
double-walled fortress city, and it's really cool. And so thankfully I drove. It was pouring rain that day, and I thought, I don't want Rosanna driving. Those two are terrifying behind the wheel. And I just drove with her to Piobico, and that was plenty. So anyway, we drive out there. They let me pick which little rooster. He's so young. He was just living with his brothers, and two of them looked very much like the mini roosters we've had before. And this guy looked totally different, a lot lighter with like different colored spots. And I thought, ooh, I want that little guy. And the poor guy had already been pecked a bunch by his brother, so I thought, all right, he's kind of used to getting beat up a little bit, I guess. And I'll take this guy. And it was so funny because the couple, we had met them before, and they raised these.
She's into raising different fowl.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's why Rosanna ordered these hens from her, and she'd slaughtered 3 and cleaned 3. So we were like, let's just take all 3. And then we were joking that the rooster, I put him in a cat crate, that he was in the back of the van with 3 of his dead friends. And the guy, that's what I said. I was trying to be funny. And the guy thankfully started cracking up, and he was like, poor guy will have no one to talk to. But so that was a fun little morning. And it's taken a while. He's the smallest
young. He's really
hen or
young.
rooster we've ever gotten. He just tried to hide between the sheet board, what is that called? The plywood and the fencing of the.
Yeah, he's hiding for his life. Today, in the last few days, he's been kind of in the corner of the coop, just kind of sitting there. He's obviously eating and drinking because he'd be dead.
He's still surviving.
Yeah, he survived.
But these 5 hens that are the last survivors are tough broads.
Well, yeah, and I want to keep them all I've kept them cooped up for the last week or so. Well, since we got them, so everyone tries to become friends,
but like the pecking order thing is real, and they just kind of have to work it out. And normally we haven't ever had a problem introducing a rooster. Usually the ladies are totally fine, but they're much older. So poor guy,
baby.
He's working it out. Oh my gosh, I went to Piobico last Friday to NL. The Italian electric company has a representative in our tiny town each Friday. And so I went to ask her about the bill and this and that, and if I could lock in prices. And as I'm waiting for the office to open, it's inside the comune. So can you help me explain what that building's like? There's like the post office down below.
Yeah,
it's
the village, like
City Hall. Town hall, sure. So like, there's the mayor's office, an auditorium room, a secretary office. So anyway, there's another lady waiting ahead of me, and I sit down to wait, and this guy comes up who's got this crazy energy, and he's talking to me in dialect, and I don't really know what he's saying except how he's like a chimney sweep and something, and there's so and so here, and I'm like, no one's showed up yet. He's like, okay, and he's pacing back and forth. The lady shows up a few moments later. And the guy is already not respecting that. There's 2 of us already waiting. And he starts to already immediately start talking to her, the representative. And she's like, hey, I got to set up the computer and this and that. Let me go in and get set up and I'll be right out.
Let me put my bag down.
I'm not even in the room. I haven't even opened the door. And the chick who's waiting with me, we just kind of give each other eyes like, oh God, this guy's obviously jumping ahead of line. But he seemed so crazy that it was like we weren't going to really stop him. So the lady goes in, literally a minute and a half later, he just starts pounding on the door, double fists. And then he just walks away, lights a cigarette. And then the lady opens the door and then he pops his head in, lets himself in and finds out this isn't quite the woman he's supposed to be waiting for. I don't know. But then just starts chain smoking in the commode. He first goes out to the balcony, which is hilarious and open. And he's like smoking out there. And I already thought that's kind of like, I guess he's taking it outside at least. Then he just starts wandering the hall, going into the auditorium, checking out the copy machine, all of this. And it was like, this is just one of those things that would, and people who work there are seeing and noticing. No one's telling him like, dude, you got to take the cigarette outside.
I think everyone knows who that guy is.
They must. But it was just one of those moments too where you're like, this is only in Italy. Like where maybe in Greece, I don't know, but this would not happen in the States. Just all right. But little small town action. Oh, speaking of small town action, we got to do something quite exciting in our small town.
So the owner of one of the hardware stores in town, I don't know how he did this, but he organized helicopter tours for people, for anyone who wanted to come and do it. They landed it in the industrial zone right outside of town.
Just in an empty lot.
Pretty legit. I thought it'd be like a little Robin, like two rotor thing. No, this was a real legit turbojet and like a real engine with, you know.
You have to turn away.
Yeah, it sat 6 people. It lifted 6 people in the air with no problem. The touristic flight was billed as 10 minutes, and it was made
and for €50.
For €50 a head, and there was about 50 people who showed up to do it. So
at least for that early part.
Yeah,
who knows how much longer?
I was surprised at how many people did it. It was fun. It was literally 3 minutes in the air. It was not 10 minutes.
I was recording almost the whole time. And yeah, I think my recording was like, 2.5 minutes in total. But we were lucky. At first we thought, oh man, I hope we go towards our area and up and over our valley. And we're like, oh, we would never make it that far in that amount of time. And they had come towards our direction with a few of the first flights. And then the flight we were on, we went the other way towards town and got to go up and over the castle, which was cool. But I've seen tons of drone footage over the castle, so it wasn't that exciting. But the part to me that was really cool was going up and over the marble quarry. Wasn't that cool?
Yeah, because he got into there's the hills in Monte Nerone,
like
there,
the nooks and crannies.
Yeah, so you could stay low and go follow the terrain a little bit, and then he turns and the air hits you, and the whole thing kind of shudders.
And I kept going, "Ooh, this is acrobatic!" And Jason's like, "This is not an acrobatic flight. This is just he's getting in tight and some maneuvers."
And then coming back, he did kind of like a roller coaster where he turned and
like a loop-de-loo. Sorry, that's not right.
All he did is a descent and a turn. That is all he did. He did not go upside down.
No, he did not go upside down at all.
It was 3 minutes, the whole thing.
Yes, but it was exhilarating. It was fun. It was great to see lots of kids like 10, 15-year-olds. They're watching all the, like, going up, and a lot of families.
I'm just shocked that, I wasn't shocked, but it was nice. It was nice that I thought that there'd be like 8 people there, but no.
Mm-hmm. Well, Sunday was a really big day because helicopter ride in the morning, and Sunday evening, I was invited at the Polenta Festival by one of the wives of the Hunters Club to partake in the Ugly Club parade. And she said, I need someone just as crazy as me. And I thought of you, and I was honored. I came home flying high from that Polenta Festival going, oh my God, I've been asked to participate. She goes, but we have to get you approved by one of the guys from the Ugly Club kind of thing. And I was like, well, I am a member. I'm so proud to do this.
Now, this is big because the last podcast we did talk about how Ashley's been excommunicated from the
respectful silence
of the living nativity scene.
So this was huge. The timing was pretty incredible.
Yes, but it is hysterical because you've got the like beer budget one. Like you're not invited to the one that's part of the castle.
No. Or even the Renaissance one.
No, you're part of the Ugly.
I was part of the Ugly Court. So not the Renaissance Court where we get the stunning like legit costume outfits from the Renaissance to wear, and the hairdressers do everyone's hair, and the makeup's all done, like fully like a production. No. I'm in the Ugly Club court. So, like I said, I couldn't be more proud. I was so excited. So Sunday afternoon rolls around and it's time to go. And I'm told the parade is supposed to start at 4 and we should end in the main piazza at about 6:30. So about 2.5 hours for this parade. Piobico is tiny. If I were to explain the distance we were actually going, it might be best described in 2.5 crosstown New York blocks.
That's generous.
It is. If you know Piobico, we went from the gas station that's across from the grocery store. Then we went to the grocery store. Then we went to Cafe del Corso and Stravitz. We went to 4, I think, bars. And at each bar cafe, we stopped. The band played their music. The marching band played. The Brazilian dancers danced. And I was part of 4 Piobico women who were asked to participate as farfallone, which is like the big butterflies. I know, the giant butterflies. And we were supposed to dance and have fun. And we were supposed to be like the Piobico representatives because there's been the Brazilian dancers for so long. That the last few years, they were like, we need some Piobico ladies in this. And then the president of the Ugly Club would say different words and cheer on the crowd and sing funny songs. And each bar would offer the people who were in the festival free drinks. So it was like a little pub crawl and it was a blast. I wish I did not have my phone on me since I was in character, in costume. But the best photos would have been the ones from the gas station because we're at the gas station. There's the bar at the gas station, but just having all those festivities right at the pumps. It's such a tiny, it's like a little in the city gas station.
Now it's not a gas, like in the sense of, yes, there's 2 pumps there, but it's connected to a bar right there. So it's not, people are thinking like a Chevron.
No, it's tiny. And which is then, so what sits above all of this is a dilapidated hotel that's been closed with not scaffolding, but like fenced closed since the day we arrived 20 years ago. So it was just the setting of it all pulled back would have looked like, why are they all celebrating at a gas station? Anyway, we're going through town and before we leave, there's also a group of 4, 2 or 3, maybe 4, young women from Piobico in their 20s, and they're like super sexy, like high heels, short black dresses, and we were giant butterflies. We're all in like bright colors and these huge butterfly wings, and we're noticing the young girls are getting into the cars that are carrying. One car is carrying the president of the Ugly Club, and the other car is carrying the voted ugliest man in all of Italy. And this poor guy was in like some horrific car accident. Yet he's like so proud to be this character for years. Anyway.
Get in where you fitted.
Seriously. So there's some comments about these. Why do the girls get to be in the car and we're walking or something? Oh, they're not walking. And one of the guys comes up to us and is saying how, well, they're young. Look at how they're dressed. They're not so smart. Those shoes aren't made for walking, and they are not that smart. So that's why they're sitting in the car. They couldn't handle this kind of walk. You ladies, you're hardy stock. Look at you. You're wearing sensible shoes. You're made for the fields. It was just so funny because they know that I live down here and like the farm chick. The one woman is the wife of the hunter, and she's a hunting chick. One of the other women rides horses. We've seen her riding horses out here. And the other woman is known at the bar and just this wild, hilarious character. But it was like we were definitely the hardy stock. It was just like, oh my God. So anyway, we're doing the parade. Jason's decided he's not going to come till towards the end to take some pictures. And
well, I didn't really need to follow you guys around to 5 different gas
no,
stations.
And you also wanted to be at a spot where you could get back out because new traffic would get crazy. So I've one of the wives, one of the other women, her husband has our little bags and with their stroller and stuff. And so I grabbed my phone and texted Jason, like, we're at the second to last stop. Get out here. So we're at Cafe del Corso, if any of you know it, the one on the main street right in the center and of the little tree-lined street. And we're having our drinks where the band is playing. And I'm like thinking this is perfect time to go to the bathroom because I know the next place has a smaller bathroom and then no bathroom for quite some time. So I run in. I make quick peer. There is a door from the cafe that leads to like a little mini room with just the sink. Then there is which I closed that door. And then there's a pocket door to the bathroom. I barely closed that pocket door, I thought, because I was like, I'm in and out. And somehow when I turned around, that freaking pocket door was not only closed, it was locked. And I was like, oh my God. I start to like shimmy it, jimmy it, try to pop it. I'm looking around, nothing in there to like, there's just rolls of toilet paper. There's nothing I can do to like flick in there. So I try to like close it, like pop it closed in and out really fast or anything, nothing. And I start banging on the door, nothing. There's a parade going on outside. No one can hear me. I'm at the back, literally the back of the cafe. And I turn around and and I don't know why my mind went here. This is so hilarious. Like I thought I was in some action movie. There's this like skinny window that like just opens into the bathroom that's about the size of like my thigh width. And I look at it really quick and assess, I don't think I can make it through there. And I was thinking I'd have to have climbed over the toilet. Like there's no way I could get up here. Why am I thinking? So I just start banging on the door harder and just start yelling in Italian, help. And finally I hear some teenage girls who, even though this was in Italian, the attitude tone was the same. I think someone's stuck in the bathroom. You're not even holding the mic for the laughs.
No, that is funny.
It was hilarious. And then, so I'm like, oh my God, thank God. And then Ariana, the like daughter of the owner, the main woman, I hear her and she's like got a little pick and she's popped it open, which means immediately going, I am not the first person to have gotten stuck in here. And when she opens the door, she sees me and she goes, Ashley, what are you doing in here? You're supposed to be in the parade. I was like, I know. I run back out there. Luckily, everyone is still in like full on drinking and I had plenty of time, but I was like, the ladies were like, where were you? So we make it to the piazza finally. And, Jason, I haven't posted pictures yet. I was waiting for the podcast and stuff too. Jason got some video and we got some pictures. And as we make it into the main piazza, just like a court of the like Renaissance court or any of that, they name off the groups as you're walking in. And one of the ladies had mentioned this kind of term earlier in the day, but I didn't really think anything of it. And we're getting closer. They're saying, here comes. And there's like the town is gathered in this little piazza and there's a big stage and microphones and announcers and all of this. And cameras from the local news and whatnot. And they're like, here comes the band of the Club dei Brutti. Here comes the Ugly Club band. And then they're like, and here's the Brazilian dancers. Cheers. And then I thought they were going to say, and here's our big butterfly girls. No, here's the Vivace MILFs. I had no idea. I didn't realize that's why everyone thought I was so crazy to be doing this. I thought when the ladies earlier referred to us as MILFs, which is such a funny way to pronounce it anyway. I know it would be Italian phonetically, but they're so like late on all of these trends and these things that I just thought this is so funny. She's saying that like they all have kids and oh yeah, we all look so sexy as our butterflies or whatever. And then that was what we're called. Then it made me think of all the locals who were smiling and going, oh, it's so great you're doing this. Is it because no one else wanted to be called the Vivace MILFs? But we had a great time. Jason, I was able to catch his eye before he gave me the wave of I'm heading back home. And I stayed on for another like 2.5 hours. We were offered free drinks everywhere we went. And I usually would love it. I loved it up to a certain point until I realized I've been there since 3:15, and it's going on 8. I am fucking hungry. All I can smell is grilled meat. I was like, keep your freaking white wine. Give me a skewer of that meat or a sausage. So at one point, once everyone was like settled, done the cantinas, because then us butterfly girls and the Brazilian ladies, we went around with the band to all the little cantinas and stuff, the little places people were eating. And because I forgot to mention, the president, this whole thing is to elect the new president, and drum roll, brrr, they do in the piazza, just like the Pope, they wait for the white smoke from one of the balconies. They let out the white smoke. They read from a scroll, which is really just the like butcher paper rolled up. And the Gianni, the same presidente, was reelected with an overwhelming 80% vote. He does a great job of promoting the Ugly Club, and so that was very exciting. So he had to go then, of course, to all the cantinas and thank his constituents for voting for him. And I pieced out at about 8:30, almost 9. Went and found the first freaking grilled meat stand, and I was just like, give me some grilled sausages. And I just sat on a bench and by myself with my butterfly wings,
shoving sausages,
ripping the stupid bread off because it was just too much, and just downing a sausage. And I was like, okay, now I'm good. Now I can drive home. So it was so much fun to be part of. I was so proud. I didn't care if we were the MILFs or whatever the hell they called us. It was a blast, and just so it made me really feel part of the town, and I was really proud to do it. And that kind of small town girl in me / the mix with the drama nerd, I was shining.
But it's perfect. You're
perfect.
accepted into the kind of the trashier club.
It's
but
my kind of crew.
I know.
It was great.
We're not highbrow people.
I'm not in the Renaissance Club.
No.
I'm in the Club de Brute. Grandpa would be proud. So that's about it.
From your end?
And then I got stung by a calabrone the other day.
Oh, yeah. Actually got stung by a giant European hornet.
Killer hornet, if you see it on the news.
Yeah, they're killer hornets. The big ones, they sound like big helicopters.
They're like the size of a thumb.
Yeah, they're good size.
I'm not joking.
I got stung on the foot about 2 years ago, and
Oh my God, that was so much more than 2 years ago.
Was
that was
it?
like 2018.
Oh, everything to me is 2
know
years.
it is.
2 to 4 years. It is a bee sting, but it just kind of hangs out a lot longer.
It's not that the sting is that much more like painful. It's that you just swell up a lot. But my first thought when it happened was, because I would have thought it was just a regular bee sting, and then I look and I see that effer crawling away, and I was like, oh, you son of a bitch.
They're non-aggressive.
No.
They can land on you, and you just kind of...
I accidentally swatted it. I thought it was just a fly on my leg, and I go to kind of just breeze it by. I wasn't even looking, and I stung myself in that sense. But my very first thought was, thank God it wasn't my foot like Jason. Because, whether it's walking, putting your shoes on.
Your hand was pretty good swollen for 48 hours.
Yeah. It was a look like.
Not enough to be like, ooh, we got to go to a hospital
no.
and get some Benadryl or something. Yeah, just, it
sucks.
happens.
Ice it, but it's countryside, baby. Scorpions and calabronis.
So coming up on the 1st of October starts white truffle season. We'll see if there are any. It's been dry.
Yeah, but we did have rain at some good earlier points in the summer, and the talk is it could be good.
All right. So we should see a bunch of cars coming to the valley for that.
And it means all the festivals.
The festivals start up, so there'll be a truffle festival every weekend in a different little town around our area. There'll be the Motoraduno, or the motorcycle rally, which is not Harley Davidson's. It's mostly like
Moto Guzzi, Ducati,
everyone in their beautiful leathers.
BMW.
We'll talk about that, I'm sure. Gardens getting closed down, and
that's about
pools
it.
closed, and that's about it.
Woo! You guys. It was great.
You guys. Hey, you guys. All right, bring us home.
Thank Thank you so much for listening. I'll be posting a bunch of different photos and videos from this episode. So make sure to check it out on Instagram, X, nothing really goes on there. Facebook.
Say it every time and then you immediately say, I never post on there.
It's like part of my old spiel, but then I realized, what am I even doing? Anyway, La Tavola Marque, we still have some spaces for October and a few spots for our ultimate truffle hunting holiday with the 2 truffle hunts cooking class market tour at the end of October if you are interested. Otherwise, we are also starting to take reservations for 2026. So if you've got a small group or want to join one of our workshops and food tours, check it out. It's not even really a food tour.
Why do you do that voice?
Because it sounded so cheesy when I was saying it.
All right. Very good. Thank you so much.
LaTavolaMarche.com, LATAVOLAMARCHE.
All right. Thank you so much for listening. Talk to you next time.
Ciao, ciao.
Sentire Media.
Hey, podcast producers and show hosts. Do you want to join a podcast network that celebrates all things Italian? At Sentire Media, we understand the allure of Italy and its unique culture. Our devoted team of hosts and producers are all driven by their shared passion for Italy. And we work tirelessly to create the best lifestyle podcasts and content that will whisk you away to the very heart of Italy. With us, you can savor the mouth-watering flavors, get lost in the stories from the past, break down the cultural barriers, and truly immerse yourself in the vibrant traditions of this intoxicating country. If you have a great podcast idea or are already in production and would like to join Sentire Media, head over to sentiremedia.com, that's SENTIRE media.com, and find out how to submit your show.